John Neal here. It's Monday the 6th of February 2023. I'm not just going on a bike ride, I'm on a mission. Well, I've made my way along Higham Lane, halfway up here, and on the left is this farm track which goes to Top Farm, and there's, I don't know, a few hundred acres at least of land here between Higham Lane and Weddington, and the A5 at the top end as well. And they are going to build 1,700 houses here. I'll leave you a second just to think about what that implies. I suppose the positive is it's houses for people. They are needed, people want them, here they are. Secondly, I've often said this, think of the council tax that the town of Nuneaton will gain from all these thousands of houses which have already been built over at Weddington and at the top of Higham Lane on the right here and other places, and now another 1,700 are going to be here. The downside, I think the biggest one that jumps up at me is the traffic. I don't see how it's going to work, despite the fact that they're going to have other things here, which are a brand new secondary school attached to Higham Lane Secondary School down here, and other facilities, shops, and I hope a medical centre, which is what town planning is all about. You don't just stick up houses and say, oh, where are you going to have the school? Oh, there aren't any shops. No, these things are planned out, I presume. Nevertheless, people say, well, the countryside's disappearing, the wildlife have got nowhere to go. But to be honest, this isn't necessarily a good place for wildlife. It's basically a desert. The farmland, okay, you've got some hedgerows and one or two trees, but it isn't a haven for wildlife. Whereas, I'd have to say, there are lots of trees and houses and shrubs, and I think wildlife are better suited to living over there than they are over here into the wide open fields with nothing on them. Well, having had a chat with these two people, I've got some sort of feedback, an idea of what it means to have this development take place, because in a sense this is history. This history isn't just what happened 200 years ago or 100 years ago, 50 years ago. It's happening now. This field won't be here like this soon, just as over here St Nicholas Park Estate was only fields, and I've got no record of that. Well, now I'm going to make a record of what is here at Top Farm, because I live right next door to it. And I was really surprised 30 years ago when I moved here that this part of Nuneaton was not built on already. The bottom corner there where I started was about 1.5 miles from the town centre, and it's basically farmland. Anyhow, let's move on and see what you can see further up the road. I've come along the A5, which is the northern boundary of this farmland I'm talking about that surrounds Top Farm, and this is the Weddington Walk, and the land we're talking about for the moment is to the east of me, which is on the left hand side. So as we rise above the tree line, you can see these new houses which have recently been built off Weddington Road at Lower Farm. And at the top left of the picture, you can see the A5, which I've just travelled along, and some houses ahead of us, which are St Nicholas Park Estate. And here is the pond and buildings of Top Farm. So this huge area of land is going to get built on. Here I am on the Weddington Walk, which is one side of the Top Farm development, and as you can see, it's also where the Weddington Road building has already taken place. And the Weddington Walk, in a sense, is a boundary between where a lot of the development's already taken place, and more that will take place between here and the A5. The A5 is really the absolute boundary, because that then becomes Leicestershire. It's no longer the part of the authority of Warwickshire. But there are plans to go from the other side of the Weddington Road and the other side of this Weddington Walk, which is off towards Caldicot. And again, it's prime land. It's just farmland at the moment. Whether it's green belt or not is another matter. But as I said, it's just farmland. It's okay for a certain degree of wildlife, if that's our concern, but the housing estates might offer a little bit more. But it's not open ground. Open fields, trees, hedges are really what we will miss. So I suppose, as a conclusion, I think it's a pity that all this building is taking place, but in some ways it's sort of inevitable. I'm going to go and carry on my ride. Okay, anyway, you'll see me next time. Okay, bye bye.